And now enjoy Brent Marchant's The Cinema Scribe.
My thanks to Bring Me to Life Radio, and welcome to the Cinema Scribe. There's nothing like a good friend. The value of associating with someone who cares deeply for you and who has your back at times when it really counts can't be overestimated. And it can be especially satisfying when that friendship arises from an unexpected companion. So it is with a seemingly mismatched duo in the new fact-based road trip buddy movie, Green Book. Tony Lip Vallelonga, played by Viggo Mortensen, desperately needs a job. The married father is put out of work when the New York nightclub where he works as a dapper bouncer announces plans to close for 2 months to undergo renovation. Unsure of what to do, Tony weighs his options. But there aren't many viable work opportunities for an unemployed and largely unskilled job seeker looking to earn what it takes to support his wife, Dolores, played by Linda Cardellini, and their 2 kids. And, given that one can only rely on gambling and other dubious money-making schemes for so long, Tony has to find something to hold him over until the Copacabana reopens. With few prospects looming, Tony receives a call out of the blue about an opening for a job as a driver, something at which he's relatively experienced. But the assignment turns out to be far from what he expects. He's asked to be the chauffeur for an accomplished African-American pianist, Dr. Don Shirley, played by Mahershala Ali, who's about to embark on a concert tour of the American South. Tony would be responsible for transporting his passenger to his various concert dates, as well as a number of other miscellaneous tasks. And given that he would be driving a black passenger through this still segregated region, an inescapable fact of life in 1962, he would also be responsible for providing whatever muscle is called to protect the accomplished virtuoso from the assorted rednecks and bigots they might encounter along the way. It's a job duty that's not specifically spelled out, but considering that Tony's a street-smart Italian-American from the Bronx, it's assumed that this is something he'll have no trouble handling. At their first meeting, Tony and Dr. Shirley, whom Tony calls Doc, come across as an unlikely pair. Tony is earthy, unpretentious, and a little salty. Doc, by contrast, is highbrow, erudite, persnickety, and quick-witted. But they also have traits in common. They're both no-nonsense, demanding, and clear about what they want. They also have their own deficiencies. Tony is often tactless and ill-mannered, while Doc is so aloof that he's frequently clueless to the ways of the everyday world. And, given that Tony comes from a community not exactly known for its tolerance and open-mindedness at the time, it's unclear how well he'll get along with someone from a background for which he's long harbored a less than subtle prejudice. Tony's also concerned about being away from his family for 8 weeks. He worries that he'll miss Dolores and the kids, and he's uneasy that he might not be back home in time for Christmas. However, the promise of steady work for the entire term of his layoff, coupled with good money, proves to be too good to pass up. And so, in no time, Tony and Doc hit the road for an odyssey that turns out to be quite eye-opening for all concerned. To help navigate their way through such unfamiliar territory, a representative of Doc's record label gives the duo a copy of a special guide called the Green Book. This handbook contains listings of safe lodging, dining, and business options for African Americans in the age of Jim Crow laws, directing its readers to places where they will not be refused service, humiliated, or threatened with violence. It's a document that will come in handy for those times when Tony and Doc are forced to stay at different hotels or eat at different restaurants, a common practice during the age of segregation. Given the social and racial conditions of the time, Tony and Doc routinely encounter instances of the kinds of prejudices one would expect when traveling through the Deep South. incidents that can handle in various ways and resolve with varying degrees of success. But there are also a number of unexpected developments that come out of the trip, such as Doc bringing culture to someone who never had been exposed to it. Likewise, Tony gives his passenger an education in streetwise ways, as well as an introduction to many of the ways of everyday African American life, something that the well-educated but obviously sheltered Doc had never experienced firsthand. It's an exchange that proves to be quite enlightening for each of them, and that helps to forge a strikingly strong bond and genuine friendship, especially when each of them has to rely on the other for support and guidance through tricky or trying circumstances. And based on how things started out, who would have thought that such an outcome would be possible? This superb fact-based offering hits all the right notes without belaboring its message, while effectively capturing the bond that grows between the film's two protagonists. Director Peter Farrelly has taken a big step up with this release, revealing abilities not previously apparent in many of his previous works, most of which were nauseatingly silly comedies. The excellent performances by Mortensen and Ali are punctuated by a script that's full of laughs, poignancy, and heart, without hitting viewers over the head. In many ways, this film feels reminiscent of 2016's Hidden Figures, but that shouldn't come as a surprise, given that one of this picture's executive producers, Octavia Spencer, was also one of the protagonists of that release, which also starred Ali. If you like that offering, you'll love this one. Green Book hasn't particularly caught fire with viewers just yet, but I believe that's about to change. This underrated gem deserves high marks and well-earned honors, which are now beginning to roll in. The film was recently named Best Picture by the prestigious National Board of Review, and Mortensen was named the organization's recipient of its Best Actor award. The picture has also come up a winner at numerous film festivals. Look forward to pick up more accolades as award season progresses. Those who scoff at possibilities that don't seem probable at first glance can learn a lot from relationships like those between Tony and Doc. Their 8 weeks on the road together turned into a lifelong friendship, showing that what we often think of as unlikely can indeed become wholly possible, thanks to the power of our beliefs. All we need to do is open ourselves up to the idea, and then just let it happen. I'm Brent Marchant, the Cinema Scribe. Thanks for listening.
A lifelong movie fan and longtime student of metaphysics, Cinema Scribe Brent Marchant is the award-winning author of Get the Picture, Conscious Creation Goes to the Movies, Consciously Created Cinema, The Movie Lover's Guide to the Law of Attraction, and Third Reel Conscious Creation Goes Back to the Movies, all of which provide reader-friendly looks at how the practice of conscious creation, also known as the Law of Attraction, is illustrated through film. Brett maintains an ongoing blog about metaphysical cinema and other self-empowerment topics through his website www.brentmarchant.com. He's also the movie correspondent for the Good Radio Network and New Consciousness Review magazine and radio, with additional writing contributions to Smart Women's Empowerment, The Happy Guide, Library Journal, BeliefNet, Vivid Life, New Age News, and Master Heart magazine. Brett holds a BA in magazine journalism and history from Syracuse University. Again, check him out at www.brentmarchant.com.